on a weekend. First, wish you a very happy Women's Day. Let's celebrate women in tech. Vijay, you are the first time speaker on us, so welcome to our community, Delhi Tech community. Uh, the floor is yours, Vijay. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank thank you, Tim, for for inviting. So I will share my screen.
Vijay, your voice is a little bit low. Okay, is it okay for you to come in near the speaker?
Yeah, I hope I will speak little bit loud now because
Okay,
okay, I hope is
fine.
it clear right now? Maybe once I started, maybe you guys hear me very clearly.
Yeah,
So
the voice is a little bit small, a little bit low, but yeah, that's it.
okay, okay, then I will try to speak because I didn't use any headset also. So then maybe in next 2 minutes, if you get any, maybe if you couldn't hear me, let me rejoin, okay? But meanwhile, I will start myself, okay? I'm
Sure, Vijay.
Vijayalakshmi. I'm Vijayalakshmi Atkanti. I'm the BA specialist. I'm currently working in Bosch from past 4 years. I'm having around 8 years of work experience in Microsoft BA technologies and currently working in Power BI technology is almost 4 years of work experience in Power BI, and I was graduated from JNTU Kakinada. So this is my right after third company. And coming back to today's topic, mm, in my screen.
Which we cannot see your screen or the
Yes,
or
yes,
the camera.
I'm sharing my screen, okay? Yeah. Yes, I hope you are seeing my screen right now.
Yeah,
Yes, please
but
continue.
we can't see
Yeah,
you.
yes, I will share. I will switch on my camera. Okay, so today's my topic is deployment options, like how we could deploy the Power BI report right after development, how we could deploy this to the different workspaces when we have multiple workspaces, and also how we could maintain this versioning of this Power BI file. This is one of the topic which the developers are struggling, how we could maintain the versioning in the Power BI report. So in this case, we are just we have we came up with multiple options, but out of that maybe I will just discussing what are the feasible ways and what is the easy for the developers, how we could implement these deployment options, okay? Then so we have mainly we have two different approaches. The traditional way what we are following, we are always clicking any particular publish icon, and then we are just doing this deployment, okay? I will try to open maybe one of the reports so that I will show you what is the manual option, okay? So meanwhile, so we have the traditional way, we'll just click on the publish button on the Power BI report. It will directly, we have to select the particular workspace where we are going to deploy the report, okay? The destination workspace. So once we click on the publish button, then it is going to deploy both the report and data set, means the semantic data model will be publishing to the Power BI report workspace directly. So that is the manual way, but here we are not going to maintain any versioning. For example, in the previous changes, what changes I have done, and then the current changes, what changes I'm going to accomplish now, and how, if we want to call back the previous report, I do not have any scope, okay, until unless I could manually maintain that's all this process and all. But there is no, Power BI is not going to maintain any versioning control, okay? That is the manual deployment. The second one is the CICD pipelines with Power BI integration. Okay, so for this, what we are going to do is we are just using Power BI Git integration. Means we are just using one of the Git tools, okay, to maintain this track the changes and do the versioning over here. So for this, generally we are using the Git desktop is a UI, or else we could use any code also, maybe the Git bash, maybe the traditional way how the Git commands will work, right? We could use that also. So by using that, we have to like use one more way, like create automated CI pipelines with Azure DevOps pipelines. So this is a Azure DevOps pipelines is a one which is a cost effective. Like maybe we need to pay additional cost for these pipelines to write the ML code and then the set up the CI/CD and then do the deployment. So these are the three things which we have and which I'm just going to explain you like maybe bit in discuss. So like now come back to here, the current process, like what I'm just going to explain you this. We just like need the Git desktop. This is the like one of the Windows application we have to install, and then we will just use this for the maintaining the versioning. And Azure repos, Azure DevOps repos is the one which I'm going to maintain the versioning for all these Power BI reports. Okay, for this I just need Azure DevOps repositories. And then get the access for that. Okay, and then we are just going to work on the Power BI deployment pipelines. Then how this is going to work means, in my local environment, I have the Power BI report, which automatically integrated with the semantic model under that. Okay, I have this report. Okay, within the report, if I make any changes or the new report I have developed, okay, then we are using the Git desktop is a tool, and then by using the tool, we will just push directly those changes to the Power BI workspace. And then from here, we are just going to create a Power BI deployment pipeline. So the deployment pipeline, how it is going to work means, the deployment pipelines, that once the reports are available in the development workspace, and then we are going to select which all reports or semantic model we want to deploy that to the quality workspace and then production workspace. So this is how like the deployment pipeline will carry the reports and semantic models and all the relevant items from one workspace to the other workspace, like quality and then production. It is going to move the reports and the related items. Okay, now this is a, like a source control with the Git. Okay, once we are working on the local, because first as a Power BI developer, I need to install the Power BI desktop, okay, into my local machine. Once that is done, then I'm just going to use the predefined Power BI, the features and everything. I will just prepare one new and style the Power BI report, and the semantic model is ready. And maybe once everything is ready, the report is ready to deploy. Okay, then how we are going to do? So we are just going to use a Power BI report, and then this could be saved in the local repository. So local repository in the sense like one of the local folder it will save, or the Power BI file as soon as ready, it could be saved to some C drive or desktop, like some place in our system it is going to store. Once that is done, okay, this local system is going to configure, is going to connect with the Azure repos. Okay, in Azure repos I will show in a minute. Okay, in that particular in the Azure repos, okay, repository, we have like multiple branches. Okay, the development and then main or master, like this we have multiple branches. Out of that, where I'm just going to, once my local changes are ready in my local desktop, I'm going to push the changes. Like from local, I'm just going to push the changes to the into the Azure repositories. Okay, in one of the branch, I'm just going to do. So this is how like the system will work. Once we are working on the file, it could be saved to the local repository, and then I'm just going to push these changes to the remote repository, that is Azure DevOps in our case. Okay, so this is how like the flow from the local system to the remote repository. Now, for example, like in remote repository also, we have some files are ready. Okay, and then like maybe some other developer is committed some changes. Okay, then if I want to import those changes into my local, okay, then we are just going to pull those changes into my local, our current working directory. This is how like I'm just going to pull the changes from remote repository into my local, and then I will start working on what changes they were done. I will just going to start from the that point of time. Okay, this is how the local repository and the remote repository will work in that way. And then the workflow chart, like whatever I'm just explained until now, it is going to like this. Okay, the Power BI desktop file, the manual which I told you, right, manually we could publish as soon as we clicked on this publish button. Okay, and then it is going to directly deploy to the development workspace. This is a manual process, but we need the versioning, and we are talking of the deployment pipelines, and then the rest of the things, right? How we could automate this process, okay? So for that, we have the local mission, which I explained you now, and we have the remote repository. This we called as Azure repositories, and then within that we have multiple branches. We have it, okay? Initially, I have local file, okay? This file in my local. I'm done with my work. I will just going to push this report into the feature branch via the Git integration. Okay, I just like done with my local report done, and then I just use Git integration with the feature branch in the Azure repos. Okay, from there I'm going to create one pull request, means from feature branch to the master branch. How it is going to means, because I'm the developer. Okay, I worked. Okay, I feel like everything is working fine, but I want to move to the development workspace. How it is going to move? First, the development workspace has to connect with the master branch. Okay, if master branch has contained the latest copy, then only it is going to take the changes from master branch to the development workspace. Okay, how this could be done? So first, from here to here we have to move the changes. For that, I just need to create a pull request, and it has to reviewed by some my team leader, like my manager has to review. They could see like everything working as expected, then I will, if they could approve that request, then I will just go and publish this one. And from here, once this could be done, and then from development workspace, the deployment pipeline will be in coming now. So the deployment pipeline, as I already explained, the deployment pipeline, we have to select which report. Like here we have like lots of reports. Okay, which report we want to move it? Okay, we have to select that particular report and deploy to the test workspace, and then finally to the production. So we have this way. I explained you, right? We could optionally we could do this with the CI/CD pipeline also, the Azure DevOps pipelines. But this will encourage like the additional amount of cost, and also like we need to write the ML code for this. In this case, if you use this option, still only the semantic data model will be deployed through the ML code or Azure DevOps pipelines. But report still we go with this approach only, like manually published to the development workspace. So we are not going to talk about this much. Why? Because I'm not going to opt this one, because this will additional cost, maybe some other the enhancements, like maybe the additional effort we required to that. Okay, this is a complete flow diagram. How are we going to maintain the versioning for the Power BI reports? Okay, now come back to this one. So Power BI deployment with Azure DevOps. Okay, how like maybe the content I'm just going to show whatever I show you, right? This is just overall brief. Okay, now we are just going to discuss all these the in detailed steps. Okay. The workflow description. So generally, like we have the development of reports should be in the local repository, as I told. Okay, in the local repository. Once that is done, for version control, we are just going to use Azure DevOps repository. Okay, in Azure DevOps repository, how are we going to save the reports? Means like we will just save the report as PBIX or PBIP. PBIX, like the general extension, how the we are going to save the Power BI file. The PBIP file is the Power BI project file. So if you look at the remark, this is a Power BI project file. So once the PBXC file means like it will contain the both the report and semantic model in within the PBX file itself. Okay, if I save that to the PBIP file, okay, then how like the system is automatically like segregating the report and then the semantic model into the two different folders. So for example, if I open any particular report, okay, I worked on some changes, okay. As soon as I'm saved, okay, if I worked on visualization changes, that will save to the reporting file, reporting folder. If any semantic model changes like calculated columns or table additionals or removal of tables, like anything like data type changes, all these will be changed to the semantic model. Means like the particular folder where the semantic model will be stored, right? The two different folders will be have it. One is reporting and the other one is the data set file. So this is how like the PBIP file will be there. And then for the deployment, for the development workspace till production, we will just use a Power BI deployment pipeline. Okay, so the deployment pipeline has to execute manually. So execute manually in the sense like we have to go to the workspace and we have to go to the deployment pipeline, click on the deployment pipeline, and then select the reports, whichever reports I want to deploy it. That could be go back to the or additional like maybe the workspaces. Okay. For more, so if you look at over here, Power BI deployment pipeline should be executed manually. Optionally, we could also use the pipeline, DevOps pipeline that could enable the automated deployment for CI/CD. If you look at the remark, it may cost to the extra cost, okay, and also the ML code implementation also we might aware of that topic. Now the best practices. Okay, generally like as per the best practices, we will use three different workspaces. One is the development workspace, one is the test workspace. In what we are saying like the quality workspace, and then production workspace. So we have to like use three different workspaces. Within that, whatever the flow we are just going to do for design, build, develop the Power BI reports and semantic model, for version control, everything we are using the development workspace only. We have to now whatever the Azure reports was connected to this development workspace, and then for quality we will take to the test workspace, and then presentation layer for the users we will just use the production workspace. These are the three different workspaces we maintain for the deployment. Now, if you look at the workspace rules, okay, in the workspace rules, okay, how are we going to allow, what kind of rules we will consider? Especially like it is very important to consider if we are reporting which involves multiple developers as a large amount of users. Okay, we have it. Okay, the rules we have it. Okay, what is the means? The public function. Okay, Power BI, which only allowed to use the development workspace. Okay, to avoid any conflicts. Okay, it could be like for example multiple developers was configured their own branch to the workspace. So in this case only allowed only one to be used only to the development workspace. The Git integration is only enabled for the development workspace, not to the quality and not to the production environment. And then the uploaded report, whatever the uploaded report in the development workspace, that should be pushed to the individual feature branch. Like maybe if I'm worked on any change, okay, today I'm done with my change, okay, I just need to push my change to the feature branch first. Once feature branch is done, okay, then I will create a pull request to the master branch, okay, directly to the master branch, but I just make sure to create a pull request, and then it could be approved from the respective manager or respective tech lead. So once they are done with reviewing these changes, I will merge these changes, that feature branch, into the master branch. And the end of the day, the master branch is the single source for deployment for further stages or environment. Okay, the master branch is going to sync with the development workspace, and then development workspace in sync with quality workspace, and then production workspace. This is how like the flow will work. At the end of what we are going to do for each deployment, okay, for each report deployment we must use the commentary. We have to make sure what report or what semantic model are we going to are we going to move. So for this we make sure the proper commentary, like proper text. This is a report from this workspace to this workspace we are moving, so we got approval from this person. This is the work log ID, means like a Jira ticket number, or like maybe the Azure DevOps work item ID. So like this we have to keep it. And then so that in the future if you want to call back, then we will just see this is the what, like maybe who approved this one, and then what is the work item for this, everything like will be tracked. So if we have something like this, commentary is a proper way. And then the limitations of the Power BI deployment pipeline. Okay, so the deployment history cannot be like traced. Like for example, if the deployment, like we are doing everyday deployment, okay, so it cannot track like maybe the previous years the deployment are like that. Okay, so it is have like the detailed tracking is not there, but we have like but the current the are like maybe the very recent the deployment history we could able to see that. Okay, and also the rollback function is not available currently. So for that we have to like maybe use the Git for Azure repos, right? We are using that to maintain this version control. Okay, so far I'm done. Like maybe team any other doubts, so that if any doubts I'm ready to like clear. If not, I will just go ahead further. Okay, then if nothing, I will just move further. So I will going to show you like how I'm just going to create the deployment pipeline. Okay, so first what we have to do, it means we will just go and select the deployment pipeline and the create a new deployment pipeline like this. deployment pipelines. And then once I'm just clicking on it, we have to add three different workspaces. What is development, what is test, and what is quality. Generally, these are the namings was given by the Microsoft in Power BI, but we want to assign which workspace we want to select. Like this, we have to select the multiple workspaces and then we have to assign it. Okay, once that done, like this is how like the development, test, and then production. So we have like multiple reports over here and here. So I have to select the particular reports and then I will just click on deploy. So while adding the deploy only, it will ask some commentary. Okay, then there we could add it and then deploy, so it will successfully deploy to the next environment. So like this, if you click on that particular change, you could also see the coding like this. What are the previous changes? What are the current changes? What are the extra items we have been added currently? Now, I told you, right, while commentary. So while moving the report from development workspace to the quality workspace, as soon as you click on the deploy, okay, then it will ask you like this prompt, okay. So this is the two items you are going to deploy it, and write the commentary clearly what I explained you. This is how like this could be. So while we are like yeah, once the report has been deployed from the production from development workspace to the quality workspace. So especially while we are connecting to the on-premises workspace, okay, after the report has been deployed from development workspace to the quality workspace, we must refresh the report. Okay, why we have to refresh the report means, in this particular, the deployment pipeline will only deploy the semantic data model, okay, to the workspace, not the data. Okay, only the structure will be carry forward from here to there. Once the report is deployed successfully in the quality or production environment, as soon as we are done, we have to refresh the report. For that, to refresh the report, if any cloud sources are there, well and good. If not, we have any on-premises sources like SQL connections, like something else, okay, then we have to make sure enable the gateway for that and then refresh the reports. Then you do not have any queries, then you could see the report with colorful data in it. And then like once you are done, like we could see that the deployment history. For example, if you look at here, right, maybe what I'm just doing from here, so I'm just created two items, okay, and then and that would be carry forwarded to the production environment. Okay, so as a note, it is all successful. So from production environment to here, and then again in the production environment, two plus new items has been added from quality to the production, and two more items, like this. It's been keep on adding. Finally, like one change request was come. In the test environment, we have like one change report. Only one report will be carry forward. In this case, there is no modal changes, only the reporting changes will be carry forward. Like this, if we want to see any notes or comments, we could see it over here. And then this is the status of the particular report. That's it, team. Like if any doubts so far, we could have a look. Mm, I'm
Vijay?
done. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Vijay, I do not see any questions on the chat group. Um, yeah. Thanks, Vijay, for teaching us some of the useful tips for making sure that we have a good governance on the reporting pattern. Really helpful. And thanks for being on our group there, Vijay. And Vijay, if you can post your LinkedIn information on the chat group, then people can reach out to you.
Definitely. I will just like pick my LinkedIn ID. Give me a second. Yes, I just pinged my LinkedIn ID over
Yeah.
here.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vijay. And hopefully you have a nice week on the Women's Day.
Thank you so much for the wishes.
Thank you, Vijay. Hopefully we can see you furthermore in on our Dairy Tech community group.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad to part of that.
Thank you, Vijaya.
Thank you so much, the team and Rajendra, like for inviting me into this event on this auspicious day, the Women's Day. So I feel so happy for joining over here. My first session on the Women's Day. So I'm great to like come over here and give some small presentation about what is the current process was going on from my end. Thank you so much for everyone.
Equally obliged. Thank
Yes,
you, Vijaya.
thank you
Thank
everyone.
you, thanks a lot.
Then
I'll
I'm
stop
just
the
like
recording now.
leaving from the meeting.
Yeah, thank you. See you
Thank you.
soon.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.